Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully, y'all are doing well. We are about to get started.
But she knew things about me. Things that I didn't even know.
Okay.
Exactly. She made it all up.
Maybe you should talk to her.
Let's see how.
Tell me you brought good news. Oh, Envoy, you return. And you brought a friend. Ambassador Heelguard, at your service.
Always nice to meet an Adiran who isn't trying to goad me into a fight.
What of these rebels? The streets are full of rumors, but your word is the only one I trust. So, you took justice into your own hands. That takes grit. More than I expected. Of course, the official record will show that the killer struck first, and you were merely acting in self-defense.
That's technically what happened, so sure.
I know that Ludwine wanted a public execution, but this might do just as well to appease her. A message has been sent. No one will challenge our presence in the living lands. Our people are here to stay. Ever the mercenary. This will have to do. Now that Ludwine isn't getting her execution, we need to spend a little more on securing the city. Now the Emperor wants you to investigate the Dream Scourge, and I have no wish to delay you any further. I'm sending you to Fior Messi Verno, a community of Valian expatriates deep in Emerald Stair. The Animancers may have some knowledge of the Dream Scourge already. Learn whatever you can from them.
Hi, son. How are you?
Nor should you be. Animancers draw power from the spirit world. Their dark research can twist, break, even corrupt the very soul. The Empire has no tolerance for Animancers, and with good reason. Their work is dangerous, heretical.
It's fun. I'm doing pretty good.
Animancers tinker on souls using clever inventions and ancient pillars of Ardra, siphoning essence like honey from a hive. They want to change reality as we know it, make us live longer, or cause barren lands to grow. For all I know, they might be onto something. Or With a single miscalculation, they might destroy us all. Well, you know what they say about the enemy of my enemy? Animancers may be an unpredictable sort, but they are scholars and keenly aware of their environment. Make no mistake, the Empire's at war with the Dream Scourge, and we need allies on our side. You're right to be curious. After all, animancy is the study of existence itself. Just don't get too curious. It won't reflect well on you in the Empire. If you have any further questions before I dispatch you to Emerald Stair,
thanks for liking the live, Sparrow.
now would be the time. My sources tell me the Dream Scourge is a plague of the soul, and souls are their trade. If we have anything in common with animancers, it's a shared interest in curing the Dream Scourge. Answers. Nothing more. We need all the help we can get, even if it means appealing to animancers. I believe that covers everything. Governor Vidaro will be your first point of contact. I'm told he's barely keeping the community in order. Seek him out if you need direction. Good hunting, envoy.
The Inquisitor. I have a feeling it's the Inquisitor. Oh yeah, definitely the Inquisitor.
Why is it that whenever I hear your name, it's because you've disgraced the Empire?
No, strangling light. Keep her away.
Is that, her? Inquisitor Ludwig. So kind of you to join us.
While you brood over the Dream Scourge, this island is coming apart at the seams.
Stay your wrath. Allow me to present the Adiran envoy, dispatched by the Emperor himself, to aid us in our time of need.
At least someone remembers their manners. I can't believe you troubled the Emperor to send an envoy. Haven't you done enough to flaunt your incompetence?
Under the circumstances, I thought it might be...
Silence. You busy yourself with the Dream Scourge. A mere fever and chills, leaving the real work to me. Even if that were to happen, the living will replace the dead. We will ship them in by the hundreds to fill the empty houses.
Oh, gods, Ludwig.
I have scoured this island and faced the truths from which you cower. The living lands is on the brink of total collapse, and you have ignored the discontent in your own city.
Okay.
Our envoy spilled blood, quelled the resistance, and brought us time to gather our strength.
You don't waste time, do you?
We should be using this opportunity, not squandering it. What say you?
How do you know so much about what I'm doing?
I have eyes in every corner of the city, and they do not rest.
If you're done eviscerating me, you'll be interested to learn I'm sending the envoy to the Animancers of Emerald Stair.
You are ridiculous. Emerald Stair is under assault by the very wilderness it claims to have conquered. The Animancers cling to pride and tradition even as they dig their own graves.
Pride and tradition built the Empire.
Homeland. The old rules don't apply here. Clearly, I've wasted my time with you, Ambassador. From now on, I will break the frontier on my own terms. You are free to disagree with my methods, but you cannot stop me. As for you, envoy, Farewell.
I'm gonna have to kick her ass at some point. I know it. I have a feeling.
She is going to be a problem. Put her out of your mind. The Dream Scourge is more than enough for us to chew on, at least for now. Since Liviana gave you a clean bill of health, you're officially cleared to leave for Emerald Stair. Fair warning, Animanters and Adirians don't mix well. Their kind can be a tad unhinged.
Unhinged is just the way I like it.
In that case, you should fit right in.
They're a fun bunch. Crazy, but fun.
Wonderful. Now I have to keep a tight grip on my soul on top of everything else.
Should you cross paths with Ludwig, well, try not to. I have no idea what's gotten into her. Safe travels. I'm told Emerald Stair is beautiful this time of year.
We can head to the Eastern Gatehouse when you're ready to go to Fjord.
First, I need to do some things. Let's first save. I need to hunt some mounties. Alright, so there's you. So this is a beacon. Alright. Petrus Luandi. Octave the Firebrand. Raga. The Adirian Expedition Team. So let's Shrine to Wotica, the Watcher's Mirror. Let's go here. Let me change my quest. Alright, so cartographer is somewhere over here. I hear...
You know, I've seen it all, except that. I've never seen exactly that.
Okay, so I've got that. Time to kill the yellow brands. Ooh, thank you for the hydrate, Dara. Oh. Oh, let's real quick, before I do this, go to update my gear real quick. Because I have a feeling.
It's not every day you get to deal with the person who killed you. He killed you, you killed him. Seems like a win-win situation. I haven't decided yet myself. I suppose it doesn't matter now. Unless someone's still out there handing out resurrections. Anyway, it doesn't matter what I think. You found the assassin, and you're still alive, which means well done, Marius. Now you're looking towards Emerald Stair. Whole other kind of deadly out there. Considered it, sure. I wouldn't be much of a guide if I dropped you off at the edge of Dawnshore and said, good luck.
Good to have you
Good to
along,
be
Marius.
here. We've got a bit of a walk ahead of us. You might want to get some rest. Anyway. Ask away. Yes, I did.
Oh.
The less we talk about that, the better.
Okay.
Thank you. Not everyone accepts that some things are best left in the past.
What exactly makes you the best hunter in the living land?
Well, I'm one of the very few people who spends most of their time out in the wilds and haven't gotten themselves killed yet. I know the difference between hay bleed toxin and high tox bloom, which is something you should be really thankful for. And you know the Balrog and the grinning Balrog? No, but I am one of the few who have seen a Balrog and lived. Mostly because I had the brains to run the Dragu out of there. The key is survival. I understand that, and a lot of people don't.
Yep.
And that's why they're dead, and I'm still here. We're gonna get you where you're going, Envoy. Alive and with as few blithe tail bites as possible. That, more or less, is all you need to know about me. Oh? Do tell. We've already talked about this. I hope this isn't gonna be a problem.
I'm just interested,
That
that's
much
all.
is obvious. I'm not that interesting, and I really don't like talking about the past. Let's worry about keeping you alive for now. Good? No, I didn't poison that drink. Even the rankest Nimdude walking doesn't deserve that kind of death. They clearly heard about my reputation and thought I'd do something like that. Question is, why would he drink from that cup?
He probably wasn't
Well, that
thinking.
much is obvious. If he was a real hunter, he'd have studied his target and known what I was capable of. Lucky for me, he was just a tourist in need of a good reminder.
Do you get people
More
walking?
often than you think. Someone's always trying to get a reputation by going after people who have one. Turns out those of us who have a reputation sometimes came by it honestly.
Yup.
What do you need? Same one you are. What kind of blessed question is that? Oh, huh. I see. I sometimes use lember without really thinking about it. That's what you mean, right?
What's limber?
Lember is the language spoken in Solace, though everyone knows Adiran because it's a common tongue. You don't hear lember much in the rest of the lands. Makes it easy to see which of us are from Solace and which aren't.
And you
I
teach-
barely realize I'm doing it anymore. If you want to learn lember, you'll have to spend time in Solace. And that's not going to happen anytime blessed soon.
Fair enough.
I'm sure you'll pick it up as we travel. It's not that blessed difficult.
That's all for now.
Changing the subject. Right. What do you
Talk
want to know?
about Dawnshore. Do you have any
Let's
tips?
see. If you can make a rope, you can make a net and get yourself some fish. The rough seas make fish stay close to shore most of the time. You want to look in the fish's eyes when you catch it. Cloudy eyes, toss it back. Clear eyes, can't lose. When you're cleaning them, check their swim bladder for worms. Always. You don't want that kind of awful night. Trust me. And always give them a little pinch to make sure they're not a shape-shifted wizard or something. Happens more than I'd like.
Nothing for now.
Right. Good talk.
Not everyone warrants an assassination attempt, you know. You should be flattered. The Adiran court's more interesting than I had assumed. More cutthroat, too. It's a shame. As odd as it sounds, I think he really would have left you alone. A fair fight. Huh. It's always struck me as a funny notion. He shot you with poison from the shadows. Many would call that a coward's act. But what other chance does a lone man have against imperial power? And who fights fair when
Valid.
survival is
Fair.
on the line?
You have a point.
Don't mistake me. I'd like to be wrong. I'm afraid we haven't seen the last of this conflict, though. Eagwolf isn't the only hothead in the Living Lands, and he's certainly not the only one with his hackles up about all you Adira newcomers. And Ludwine and the Steel Garrote are only making matters worse. You're far from the only one to say so. Your ambassador and the rest of the Adiran forces have been dragging the frontier, kicking and screaming towards order and civilization. All the things that half of us moved here to escape. Then, one day, Ludwine and the Steel Garrote show up to reinforce the Adiran presence, and they're as harsh as Wodika herself.
I've always found them
Mine
too
too.
zealous.
I understand discipline, but you've got to know when to give.
Good morning,
Judging from
Andre.
that
How are you
meeting,
doing, good sir?
Ambassador Hilgard and Ludwine don't see eye to eye. I'm afraid that means trouble on the horizon, especially if Ludwine starts operating around him. Nice
That
to know
worries
I'm
me
in
too.
good company.
Something's
Just
on your
thinking
mind.
about Claviger Amon. I let him down. I've let a few people down over the years. But I did promise someone once that I'd do my part to look after all of us riffraff who've made a home here. My best chance of doing that is helping you investigate this plague and keep a lid on tensions. And, hopefully, fend off any future assassination attempts.
I'm glad
Feelings
for the
mutual.
company.
It's nice to share a campfire again. I think that's enough doom and gloom for one night, don't you? Sleep easy, Envoy. As best you can.
Hold on. Untime out. I've got questions.
So did
about-
my commanding.
That's all. Leave
Check
you
your
to it.
bedroll for fangworms.
All right. Let's. What's up, Phenom? How you doing, bud? Right. So fine quality on that. Okay. Alright, so I need more tan hide. More iron chunks. Oh. And need money for. Okay. Store that. Been doing great. Woke up in a great mood. Have to record a podcast in about 45 minutes. By the way, thanks again for the info on beacons. It's been a great help. Only a quick visit because I have to set up for the podcast in about 10 minutes. I hope you have a great podcast, bud.
By the way, I never met that Orlin girl before in my life.
What Orlin girl?
You remember. The one in the camp in Shadow Peaks? With the thing on her head?
Oh, yeah. Nice eyes, chipped tooth. Thinking about her again, huh?
You thought we had a past or something. But I'd never seen her before in my life.
We could see her again if you want. I think she liked you.
Well, anyway, just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, a good talk.
Some women like the brooding, mysterious types. You just gotta work on your small talk.
Funny. Alright, let's cook something real quick. Let's see here. Just trying to see if there's anything. All right. Ooh, hit him on top. Pokey catch. Alright. So, exit previous location. Alright. Okay. I wonder. Nope. Good to know, though. Let's see here.
Quiet, Nimdut. Not sure who lived here before. Looks like something you'd see in Emerald Stair. What was that?
Damn it.
Stop right there! Here we go!
Jesus.
Coming from your right!
see here. Get food real quick.
Look here. On your right.
There's the bear. Oh.
Next one's mine. Right flank. Time to wrap. Appreciate it.
Been seeing a lot more bandits since the Dream Scourge has driven people out of the interior.
We got them all.
Alright. Let's see here. I need the axe. Okay. Nothing. There's a chest in here.
Take your best shot.
You should be here.
Nothing like a win with a good team.
Yeah. Alright. Not sure if it's... Oh. I mean, there's been storms in the area, so I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised with the storms in the area. Oh, look. Hey.
Take him down.
Yeah, I would not be surprised with all the storms that have been in the area as of late. Alright. First abilities. Power attacks with axes and great swords, no. See, that would be useful. What's over here? That's... dodge. So, Ranger is where I need. Okay. Thank you for following, Averick. I greatly appreciate it. And let's do one for Shadow Step, Wounding Shots, Finding Roots. Let's do... Alright. Let's improve my health. And let's attack speed. Let's raise the intellect. Yeah, let's raise the intellect. Morning, Draken. Actually, no. Let's raise dexterity, because take the grenade. I hate military grade sleep. Mood. Fucking mood. Alright. Let's go to map. Eastern Paradise Gate. So, the couch behind me is where, like, if I'm having insomnia, because yay, military.
No one's come to claim him. I suppose I should see one.
There are spells now.
Keep your helmet on. I've seen worse.
Envoy?
A pleasure, Envoy. I'm Aldrich, the bounty master of Paradise. If it suits your fancy,
Give me a little
check
bit.
the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in. Show it here. It's a shame it had to be like this. Desperate times can drive good kith to do terrible things. Be safe out there, you hear?
Alright. Precious light. Okay. Where are you? Okay. Oh.
Yours isn't the only ship that's gotten into trouble around here.
Listen, the Adirians want to start boarding ships.
There's someone there.
Folks will revolt.
Let's show it. Oh, no, you don't.
Got you. What the world?
I was just getting warmed up.
Oh. There's a chest over here somewhere. I hear it. There goes my last lockpick. Alright. There's that one. And my reward. Get as much money and shit that I can. Because I'm going to need more health potions. Like, whoa. And Marius wants to have a conversation. Cool. Cool.
Welcome back.
I have bumped
Show it here. Guess you were just the one storm she couldn't survive. Be safe out there. You hear?
Alright. Ha ha ha. Okay. And I'll will that one offhand. Good to know. Let's see. Like to buy something? Jesus. I don't need this. But breaking it down. Let's see. The Discord is amazing. The server is awesome. You know what? Since I'm right here.
Well, I can't say I've met one like you before, but I'm sure you hear that. Oh, heavens no. I would never. Look for Remio up in the Pearl District, and who knows where Adelgund wandered off to.
Okay. Yeah, the server is some of the best people I know.
If you'd like to be useful. Oh, how can one concentrate with you running all about the place? Who can tell? You've been speaking with Gunith, I assume? Huh? She's the one so quick to flirt with dangerous strangers. Go bother Edelgund. Huh? She's probably by the western gate looking for someone willing to talk to her. You'd like to be useful. I could use another.
Excuse me. Actually, you're a merchant.
My potions are brewed.
There's the sound. Aha. Nice. What are you? Frog. If it's not nailed down, loot it. Loot everything.
An interesting day, so... Well, I'll be chomped by a Zarep queen. You're that godlike from the docks.
I am.
I can't believe my luck. Nothing all year, and then boom, interesting strangers just falling out of the sky. As a matter of fact, I have. Indeed, a young dwarf and his crew stopped by. Seemed agitated, like they were afraid of someone. They were asking all sorts of people. Seems like I was the only one willing to really speak to them. They were asking where they could find luminous Ardra, of all things. Can't imagine what they'd needed it for. I said they were most likely out of luck, but I might know somewhere they might find some if they looked hard enough.
And where did you send them?
Not long ago, a group of animancers looked to carry out some experiments into teleportation. They carried their instruments and a healthy supply of luminous Ardra to the island of Castel's Folly. It's possible there's some still there. Me? Oh no, I know better than to tread on that side of the Emperor's laws. I just knew some people at one time. Long ago. They asked me to join them in the experiment, but I've made enough mistakes to know how to avoid a big one. Question, why are you looking for those sailors? Did the Valian captain send you?
What Valian captain?
I don't know much, but one of the smugglers whispered the name Captain Bardato and spit on the ground. I worried about that too,
but it seemed better to help these people than to leave them to face this captain alone. Oh no. I imagine a Valian sea captain knows better than to spend time among all these Adiran soldiers. The folks you're looking for are probably getting themselves killed searching for Ardra that probably isn't there. I can tell you wouldn't listen to me if I warned you not to go to Castel's Folly, so I wish you luck.
Alright. Going to pause real quick. I'll be right back. Back. Sorry about that. Alright. Let's do this real quick. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh,
Hello.
that's how you really know.
There was a big boom in here. It made me do a jolt.
My cup fell.
It was right over my head.
Sorry.
So, fell. It was right over my head.
This be about where the closet downstairs is.
So, how's it going?
Oh, okay.
How's it going?
It's going.
I am the hype!
Alright. No. Probably. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Medium. Or what do you suggest?
Hey, Heathen.
Hi, Andre. How are you?
Hi, Andre.
Not doing too bad. Got set up for my pod in about 15 minutes.
For your podcast?
Sorry?
I say you got set up for your podcast?
Yeah, I'm set up for it. I'm just waiting for everybody to show up so I can do it.
Oh, that's cool.
I wish it were cooler. I'm basically co-hosting a topic that I know zero about.
What topic?
Kotlin Kotlin symbol processing.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an Android technology. I'm an iOS guy, so I don't know Android development at all.
I don't know much about programming. Except for my little bits with the computer to make it work for me, or with my 3D printers.
Yay, 3D printers.
Mm-hmm. I came up with an idea the other day.
Ooh.
Well, my sister-in-law is getting the ball rolling on getting a prosthetic because she had her leg removed.
Oh my, that's I'm sorry to hear.
Mid-August, she had a deep-set bone infection that happened, and it was just recurring. She had survived cancer, and the tumor went from up mid back to down to her knee. So they removed a chunk, but then it, kept getting infected, because deep inset infections will do that. And for quality of life, she opted for removal. So she went from Princess C to Princess Half-Ass to now Chicken McNubbit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And my buddy Harvey recently had to have an amputation up to the knee just a couple weeks ago. Yeah. They should have actually done done the full amputation like that instead of just only taking part of the foot.
Oh my.
Yeah, he's one of those. He didn't show symptoms of the cellulitis, and it went deep inset.
Ick.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to do the time?
He's getting the ball rolling on getting his prosthetic. So my idea is lightweight caging units that can go up and slide up and over the prosthetic.
Excellent.
And
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have to drop for my I'm sorry I have to interrupt. I have to drop for my podcast.
Bye, Andre.
Bye, Andre.
Go. Have fun.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah, my idea is basically lightweight open framework design, so that way can change the design on the prosthetic.
Makes sense. There's actually something that I found interesting. On Dragon Age Velgard, one of the characters, one of the companions, is a handicapable amputee, and is missing from her knee down. And so instead of having a foot, everything, she has this ornate snake design, and it just makes me smile.
That is cool. So, yeah, I have a couple of friends who wanted to know if I could actually figure out how to make, if not functional prosthetics, then at least, I not a functional prosthetic, but a
cosplay
I'm having a
prosthetic.
hard- Basically, their medical insurance is saying that toes are basically optional and cosmetic. Cosmetic is the word I was looking for. Sorry.
That's really odd.
Just like her other
Yeah, their insurance is like, well, we're not really gonna pay for it, and it's like $15,000.
That's what insurance do they have?
I do not know. I did not pry.
Fair.
I only like it when people are comfortable enough to just tell me these things, and I usually thank them for being comfortable enough to tell me these things.
That makes sense.
Going outside, and then I'm gonna go feed our kid.
Since apparently
Have you-
I'm engineer, they're wondering if I could potentially engineer something.
That makes a heck of a lot of sense.
I think I might have to take classes at some point to kind of make sure I've got a better grasp of these things. Mostly just for feedback.
Makes sense to me.
Fior Messi Verno, huh? Guess if you're looking for an animancer,
That's
the place to go.
Sorry.
So my question is, like, I know several people who have had amputations because former military. It's a thing. And any replacement prosthetic that they've had, like, actual legs, not like running system or anything like that, has had toes. So I'm confused, I think.
I'm a bit confused too. These two folks, the toes have been removed, one due to complications of diabetes, and the other one simply put circulation issues caused problems. So they have most of their foot, just not the toes.
Without him trying to help.
I would think that the brain, because the phantom pain would be an issue there. You know?
That's where mirror therapies come in handy.
This is true. Just you have to be in a very unique state for that type of treatment to happen.
Yeah. I've had to start poking my nose around and learning what I can here and there to kind of figure things out, because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I love the faith my friends have in me. And the support. Especially when I open my app and finally ask for help.
Makes sense.
Sometimes I wonder if maybe they don't have a little too much faith in me.
A job is a job, Envoy. But
why do you say that?
Not all places are created equal. I've led a few people there from Paradise or Third Born.
Well,
and I've almost lost someone on every trip.
Sometimes I think they overestimate my skills.
I said almost. Just glad I can help.
I mean, you've seen the Mississippi Delta that I came up with everything involved. Do you know how long it took me to learn about the deltas enough to even get to the point where I could take that LiDAR scan and false color it to make that tactile?
Probably quite a bit, but you have to remember that the learning part of it, you are doubting your own abilities and own skills by putting yourself down. Imposter syndrome's a bitch.
Oh, it is. And I've been told I'm arrogant and self-centered. Yeah.
Hey, people are stupid.
People are stupid. And I did finally come clean to my friends.
Oh?
I didn't give details.
About?
I'm like, look, I was dating a guy. Started dating him after meeting him at work at the insistence of his wife. We are no longer together. But this entire time I've been lying all to you all a lot because I have been under a
how to build a shelter.
Do not discuss this order, to the point that a demand was made that I watch the tone of what I post because the timing is suspicious.
Hey, looks like a duck, talks like a duck. Sup, Chaos? How you doing, bud?
Hello.
Hey, Chaos. But,
Good afternoon.
You sound exhausted.
Yeah, he got military grade sleep too.
I just woke up.
Ah.
Oh, you managed to catch a couple Z's?
Yeah.
Good.
Eventually.
And so on.
Later,
I started going out on
out on the
patrols,
floor.
just to get experience in the
Bed's
wilds.
too soft. Couch
By the time
too
I was
soft.
15,
Chair
I was
too
going
soft.
out on my own. I was usually part of a small patrol.
Oh.
Maybe 4 wardens. We'd travel the roads in Galloway's
Oh, today's
tusks.
gonna be a day, I already know it.
Of camp. We'd make sure the Zarps weren't getting restless. The roads were clear of bandits,
my buddy
and the
Harvey
lava flows weren't
and
flooding.
my
Turns out I was just good at surviving on my own.
When they get
So
the
I kept
prosthetics
doing
in, they're gonna let me take pictures and take measurements and make models to try and figure out the idea of making the, frameworks that can go around them to kind of decorate them.
Because it's not that interesting, really, and knowing about it won't keep you alive, and I don't like talking about it. So why pry? Wouldn't you
also
rather
came
your
up with the
wilderness
idea
guy
to
be
make
happy and unburdened by
3D
thoughts of
printed
his
hand
past?
fans.
Nice.
With the fabric printing technique that I do. Because then I can actually use my airbrush to paint the mesh and have the 3D printed portions be the outlines.
Thanks for talking.
Nice.
I mean, like, say, a heart-shaped hot air balloon design as a fan.
That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Or even like a D21. For us geeks.
Mirrors. We have
and
something like your dreams.
I was talking to a different friend, and I'm all like, yeah, this idea. And she's all, I use fans in my rituals. If I gave you a design with
but we cannot
the words that I need, think you could probably do it? Yes. Simplistic enough.
So, I'm sure it could be accomplished.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Run around with a Pokeball-shaped fan for summertime.
Nice.
Because then I can have, like, the outlines, and then I can paint the colors of the Pokeball. Using the airbrush. Keep it nice and lightweight.
So that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I like making stuff. It's fun.
Hey, that absolutely makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You all right over there, Chaos?
Yeah. What are you playing today, Heathen?
I'm playing Avowed.
I started that the other day.
It's really fun. It's really fun.
We must know.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
It's basically an updated Skyrim.
A killer's blood billows in the drain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the bear.
I might enjoy it
Do not
if
understand.
it's slightly different enough from Skyrim.
Mercy too?
Running doesn't consume stamina.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
You can actually dodge in the middle of a combat.
Yep.
Eat or bleed.
Oh, yes.
Rule of the wild.
And
Instead of having to block everything.
Still.
Is Avowed on PC?
It's on Game Pass, so yes. It's on Steam, it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's just not on the PlayStation.
For you, felt your agony. We could not forgive.
I might have to see about getting it. So.
Petals disperse.
But yeah, like it's fun. The story system is interesting too.
Ooh.
Yeah, the way that basically the way that I explained it to Spouse is that it basically has a similar setup when you're starting the game like Oblivion. It has a D&D setup as far as your attributes where instead of strength it's might, but it's strength, con, dex, perception, intellect, resolve. So
nice.
and instead of wisdom, that would be your resolve, or that would be your resolve. Your intellect is pretty straightforward. Constitution is, of course, Constitution, and perception is your is basically your hit chance. So, and also your.
It's an interesting little game.
And the fact that I have guns in this game makes me giggle.
Yeah, there are guns.
So are they going with, like that universe having created their own guns, and so they have like their own unique style, but looking similar to ours? Because
it's flintlock. It's straight. It's straight flintlock, which makes a heck of a lot of sense.
It's fantasy with a bit of steampunk.
Oh, nice.
Sure.
Nice work.
Love you. Okay. All right. Be safe. Love you. But yeah, the setup is very much Skyrim-esque. Which
There's a reason this place is called Castle's Folly.
Which honestly makes me laugh. Especially with the fact that, unlike Skyrim, where you could be third person, it's only first person. So, but you can have axes, you can have great swords. The breakdown, like on skills, isn't as horrendous as Skyrim, but like you have basically fighter, ranger, wizard. So melee or strength based, dex based, or intellect based, and then your godlike powers. I just don't know what the max level is. I know you can go past level 20, but I'm not sure what the max level is. But the fact that it's made by Obsidian, which did Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, which is kind of a Fallout rip from Obsidian, except it's in space, I would guess that this is a closer to Elder Scrolls rip than anything else, if there was a comparison. But it's fun to at least play through. I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I like it, the idea. I'm just not fond of Skyrim.
Not seeing any sign of some magical experience.
I mean, not many people enjoy Elder Scrolls, and that's okay.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I adore Elder Scrolls, but when, you know, a girl's banned from playing on any consoles because the consoles were fuckos, even though I paid for them. And I was just relegated to the computer, and that was literally the only game he would ever play, and if he watched YouTube on the PlayStation, it was literally the only videos he would watch were about that, and then he would complain that he could do a better job, and then got pissed off when I said, well, there's Twitch, start it.
Another win, but who's counting?
Yeah, that...
He was obsessed enough that he had me buy a brand new PlayStation 4, a second PlayStation 3, and then later a PlayStation 4, just so that way he could keep playing it, and when they came out with the anniversary editions.
I heard something.
Really?
Yeah. We had the first PlayStation 3 that was, and it was reverse compatible. I should have snatched that and took it with me.
I mean, yeah.
Well, it was his friend that bought him that one. The second PlayStation 3 was my money, so I definitively took that. As well as the PS4. I made sure to only take things that my money paid for.
Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. And now I have a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I've got my PS5 that I've had since it came out.
I didn't get my PlayStation 5 till last October.
I did find out something interesting about, because I have capture cards, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've got a splitter that hooks directly to my capture card. And so now I can capture the Switch or the PlayStation, but because of the way I have it set up, I have a secondary. So the way I have it is I did a splitter where it takes all the HDMI's into one, which is a 4K splitter. All right, so it has one output for 4 inputs. So I can do the PlayStation, the Switch, or anything else, mind you, all into one. that goes straight into a different splitter that takes in one input and does to multiple places. So I can capture to the from the Switch or the PlayStation, and if I want to like stream Crunchyroll or Prime Video or anything like that, all I have to do is turn on the HDCP. Anything else, just go to the TV when I don't have the capture card on. So I don't have to get up and unplug, replug, and all that BS. I can just switch it, and it'll basically go to the TV, and when I have the HDCP off, it'll still go to the TV, but it can capture it on my computer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fun times.
The only reason I even want a PlayStation is to play God of War and Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I mean,
it is very nice.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is now on the computer.
I don't have a computer. I can run new games.
It's supposed to... I thought it was supposed to be coming to the Xbox soon. Hold on. FF7 Remake. Because the exclusivity... yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake will be coming to the Xbox this year, with Rebirth coming in 2026 to Xbox. That was announced last month. I knew I saw it, I just couldn't remember when.
I'll play it. I just want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake so bad.
It's worth it.
As
Final
someone,
Fantasy 16 isn't bad.
As someone who's meh on Final Fantasy VII, like it makes Cloud more likable this time around. But it's not. Everyone goes, "Oh, it's a remake." No, it's a sequel.
It's almost like
it's not a remake; it's a sequel, but it's basically an alternate reality. Because
yeah, that's what I was about to say.
because Sephiroth did some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he did. He usually do. Back on his bullshit.
I mean, yeah.
Sephiroth
That's what he do. Sephiroth. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Does what he does.
Don't want the round shields. But yeah, the I enjoyed playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII wasn't my favorite Final Fantasy. That's Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh my god, I love Final Fantasy VIII. Nobody likes Final Fantasy VIII but like me and you, I think.
It certainly feels... Because people did not like the draw system.
Well, that, and they didn't like the fact that you didn't win money from fighting battles.
Oh no.
Like, they didn't like the seed system, they didn't like the draw system.
The seed system was actually kind of awesome. I was glad that they incorporated that shit.
I thought it was cool. Like, if you know your shit about the fucking video game, then you'll get a higher seed level, and you'll get more money every like so many steps or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. Like,
by fighting, but you can get it by walking.
The one downside about the seed system is if you didn't have strong enough combat, like a certain amount, or you ran away a certain amount, if you were above that seed level, you would lose seed rank.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
You're not allowed to run away. But
so you had to balance it out.
The Guardian forces were really the summons were all really fucking cool. Even the secret summons were really cool.
Yep.
The whole junction system was cool.
Absolutely. And I enjoyed the hey, you get designs for your weapons out of magazines, which makes sense for that type of world, because it was more sci-fi, everything. I also loved all the Easter eggs for that game. Like
they did.
Like Zell, the way he in one of the fighting combo books, it gets a from a Master Sabin, which is a reference to Final Fantasy VI, because they use the same goddamn punch combos.
Yeah, pretty much.
Final Fantasy XIV actually grabbed the triple triad system in there.
Yup.
That's actually wicked cool, and they expanded on it, and I'm like, yay. It's basically Othello on a smaller board.
The I enjoy the triple triad because the only other mini game that is game specific, I would say, is Blitzball. And Blitzball was fun as shit.
Blitzball was pretty good.
Like, I thoroughly enjoyed Blitzball.
I do kind of like Final Fantasy Charlie's Angels. I mean, 10-2.
Yeah.
But 10-2 with the dressing thing was really cool.
The dress spheres were awesome, and I like that they did that with did similar with the job system in Final Fantasy XIV. I didn't bother with playing Final Fantasy XI when it was out because I was too busy exploring back east while in the army.
So the
and getting into WoW Alpha.
I don't agree with all of your Adiran.
The thing with Final Fantasy XIV's job system is a direct replacement from Final Fantasy Tactics. The sphere grid, or the dress spheres that we see in 10.2, is basically a modification of the same job system from Tactics, but with more versatility because you can actually, chain them to get the ultimate powers, depending on the dress sphere grid itself, which makes more sense. Versus Tactics, where you could only have characters in a certain job and have to level up that job on each character to get them to their ultimate power.
Yeah. I never played Tactics, so...
But you're right.
It's Final Fantasy chessboard.
Don't tell Liviana I said that.
Uh-huh.
It is literally Final Fantasy chessboard. The best thing about Final Fantasy Tactics is the Easter eggs that you get towards the last bit of the chapter. But the original PlayStation, the final boss could not be beaten without a Game Shark. At all. Because one of the first things that boss does within 3 turns does 99,999 damage across the entirety of the board. There's no way to avoid it. There's no way to overcome that. So it's either you beat the boss in 3 turns. Oh, by the way, that boss has 100,000 HP. And your cap at damage is 9,999. By the way, you're only allowed to have 4 characters on that map at a time. So, aka, it's unbeatable unless you have a Game Shark. They fixed that in the PlayStation PSP version, where it became War of the Lions, and they introduced, because in the PlayStation version, the original, you were able to get the Robo from Chrono Trigger, and you could get Cloud from Final Fantasy VII as members of your party. And the War of the Lions, where it became PlayStation for the PSP, the original PlayStation Portable and PS Vita, they introduced you be able to get Balthier as well as Cloud and Robo, but they also had Tidus available as well. So, but it's still, you're on a grid map. So think D&D, but chess, there's only a certain amount of movements you can take depending on your dex and what class you are and how far you can move. And then your range of your attack. It's Final Fantasy chess. Like, I absolutely loved it. It's also one of the best war stories prior to Final Fantasy 16 that I've seen from Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 16's war story is amazing. Because it's a legitimate fantasy war. Yoshi P, who is the executive producer of Final Fantasy 14, took what he learned and knew from Final Fantasy 14, was inspired by Game of Thrones, and said, go. No one is safe in Final Fantasy 16 at all.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 is fun, and it's also like pain in my butt.
Got it. Oh, take a breather, folks.
I did find an accessory that makes my life easier, and it does automatic combos.
We're just trying to get this Ardra for Captain Bardado before she comes and kills us.
So, the thing with 16, and the reason why I love 16 so much, is unlike other Final Fantasies, Clive is a he basically fails repeatedly. He somehow fails upward in a couple of places, but he's behind the 8 ball in multiple ways. And he is a reluctant hero type. The closest one that I can think similar to him, it would be either Squall or Cecil. Would be the closest reluctant heroes that I could call to Clive. And when it comes to villains, I despise villains in Final Fantasy because they're just overdone.
Yeah.
Prior to Rebirth and Remake, I despised Sephiroth because he didn't succeed. The very thing he wanted to do, he failed at. Up to this point, there's only 3 villains, like true villains, the true final antagonists, that succeeded in what they wanted to do. To this day. Kefka from Final Fantasy VI.
Yep.
Garland from Final Fantasy 1. And Fuckhead from Final Fantasy 9. And then recently Final Fantasy 15's Arden, where he succeeded in basically burning the world. Out of all the Final Fantasies that have happened, only those have succeeded in their goals, which is important.
Oh, yeah.
We made a mistake.
Oh,
Devolva's Audra is unretrievable. On the bottom of the
Lindblom
sea, somewhere between here and the Deadfire.
No,
we acquired some luminous Audra from the Valian Trading Company.
Basically, the Final Fantasy IX guy.
In Paradise.
That we gotta.
My ship sank in a massive storm on the way here.
Huh. AKA the fuckhead.
We got to shore,
but
that's the least of our worries.
Trying to remember names sucks.
That's a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do like the fact that there's always a Cid.
And hide out in Paradise until we knew we were out of trouble.
There's so many Cids, it's not even funny.
I like that there's always a Cid.
I like that there's always a Cid.
Oh, you do like. I like that they started doing Biggs and Wedge.
Yes.
Yup.
Oh yeah.
And they're always like fuck ups.
My favorite Biggs and Wedge combo is actually from Final Fantasy 14 because they tried.
Yes.
They tried so hard. They try so hard. It's not that they're fuck ups in Final Fantasy 14. In Final Fantasy 14, they've got the worst luck in the world.
Oh yeah, they're just terrible. And awesome.
In Final Fantasy 6, the first Biggs and Wedge that I ran into, because Final Fantasy 6 is the one that I played first, I'm like, wow, these fuckers are awful. Then we meet Final Fantasy 7, I'm just like, well, they're red flags on the ground, penalty on the play.
Yeah. So there's a couple of characters that are Biggs and Wedge without being Biggs and Wedge in 16.
Yes. Yes, there is.
It's like, you're gonna be accompanied by 2 soldiers. No.
Hello, baby.
Why not?
Are you serious?
How's the
do that for us?
How's public stuff?
I'm in the car waiting for chicken.
Chicken good.
Chicken.
If that means what I think it means, I'm all for it. Better odds than we have now.
Probably.
We're supposed to bring the Audra to Bardado at the Usher's End, just north of here.
But then again, those 2 soldiers do die early in Final Fantasy 16, so they could have been Biggs and Wedge, just not named.
Get it to Sapiento de Falva in Paradise.
Is 16 the one I played?
Yes. 16's the one you beat.
Yeah.
FF16. Yeah, out of all the Final Fantasies, 2, 3, 5, 9, and 11, and now 16 did not have characters with the Biggs and Wedge name.
Oh, whoa.
To never play 11 because it's ass.
I opted to not play 11 because, well, while it was...
Do some good with it.
2004, 2005, somewhere around there. While it was going, starting out and everything else, I was, in the army. And then after getting out of the army, my ex-husband wanted me to play it, and he let slip that the chick he was cheating on me with was playing that game, and that was how he met her. And instead of me going over to, you know, Japan to be with my husband on Christmas leave, he was telling me to not bother coming.
Well, he's a fucking douche canoe.
Yeah, and so I ended up with my buddy Andrews at his family's house, and that was where I got to meet my namesake, or am I her namesake? I'm the namesake of the dog.
Gotcha.
There's his dog that he was calling me Bit over.
Gotcha.
And she decided I was hers.
I see it.
That looks like a totem.
Because he's sitting there like, really? I let you into my house and you steal my dog, Bit?
I mean, this kind of tracks.
Looking at him like, Mom's cracking her face off. Apparently when he said that, both of us looked up and tilted our heads the same way.
But that kind of tracks though. Like, this makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Saving before
Right
I
now,
get
I have
railroaded.
my squeaker just absolutely purring her little whiskers off.
Nice.
Oh yeah. She's my little buddy. I might have to get her a partner though.
Hold it there, amigo. We're expecting someone tonight for sure. But you're not them.
Because moving in with my buddy Don. And
you got it, pal. Though I'd put money down that you spoke
she's
to
not
my
used to
good
being
friend
alone.
Trevik. I told you we were
At
the
all.
buddies, did he?
She's used to there being another
Trevik
critter
and his scabby
in the house.
stole Adra from the Valley.
And I'm not entirely sure how she'd react to me getting another iguana. She might try to stick to the ceiling the way Demon tried to.
That tracks. That tracks.
Iggy was nice and calm and everything else, and had his perches where he sat and, you know, was fat, lazy iguana. And took Demon a while to realize that the iguana was, you know, not just simply some plushie getting moved from place to place and was sniffing. And so Iggy was like, cool. And then turned and looked at him like, can you, like, scratch here, please? Right? And this cat yeet across the living room to the ceiling in the corner. And just kind of hung 10 there. And Iggy just kind of turns around and starts walking towards him like, what the heck did you just... And so he jumps clean across and hides in the kitchen. And wouldn't come down from the cupboard.
Oh, silly, silly, silly.
I'm sitting there and, you know, gathering up Iggy and getting him to his, you know, habitat. And I'm sitting there trying to call Demon down. I finally had to look at Bowie and go, Bowie, fetch the kitten.
Fair enough.
This cat was like the original long cat. Like, I literally have a picture of him with Shadow, and he's just long cat out of the bed. So I had to send Bowie to go fetch the little tiny freaking short-legged long cat out of my cupboard. Because he got where I couldn't reach.
Tracks.
In fact, anytime there was room, I would rearrange things so that way Bowie can kind of get up there, and every so often I'd be like, Bowie, I need that. And my cat would jump up, like, say, the fridge. If I needed the cereal and it got pushed up to where I couldn't reach it, I'd be like, Bowie, I need that. My cat would get it down for me.
Fair. Oh.
I'm short.
If only your cat was so kind, heathen. Your cat's just a monster that torments everyone.
My cat's Dick. There's a reason his name's Bakuga.
Widely advised against. You see what I mean? So
You really did screw us on that.
As a procurement agent, if you
Is that like a horse named Jack?
Or I bring back their
I mean, his original name didn't fit him. Because his original name was Leyline.
That doesn't fit.
Well then, I guess we'll go kill Trevik and his crew after we take the Adra from your corpse. Bring me their heads.
And combat. Really? Healing potion?
Having some issues there? Your captain is kicking your butt.
Yep. And there's a bear. That is a
bear.
That is an elder. That is a elder brown bear. Why the fuck is there an elder brown bear?
To wreck your shit.
Apparently.
I just got told NFTs are a scam.
Yep.
But nutrient film techniques for growing and
Not that kind of NFT.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to explain to this person what I mean when I talk about NFT then.
Yeah, NFT has a different meaning in the rest of the world. Non-fungible token.
Oh, and meanwhile I'm talking science and plant growing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, NFT is you get a picture or something that's on the internet that anyone can steal.
You mean right-click and save picture as?
Yeah, pretty much.
They're paying money for it?
Yeah, they're not only paying money for it, they're paying Bitcoin for it sometimes.
Yep.
Why do I have bills?
Because people are stupid.
Yeah.
Because fuck capitalism.
That.
Because peanuts.
Because peanuts.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
It tracks. You just have to go a roundabout way.
I beat the bear and Captain.
Good job. Super proud.
Oh, got my ass beat. Used all my health potions. But yeah, like NFTs is non-fungible tokens because douche bros.
Envoy.
Otherwise known as
Ironic.
dumbasses. Got it.
No. Paradis clearly understands your intent.
Yeah.
And I did find out
Careful.
the one
Could
guy
be a
that you
messenger.
found
Or
has
this could get
Saturday
interesting.
office hours, so
After
yesterday
what
I
you've
did
done,
actually
I
contact.
cannot imagine we
Oh?
would ignore you. My compatriots.
Yeah, no, he didn't email me.
Yeah, that sounded fishy.
And then he started getting kind of interested because he's like, so these things that the person was talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, been taking geological data and then false coloring it and making 3D printed tactiles with them to teach with. So I ended up getting a little bit of an info dump there and a bit of a list of resources that could help better that.
I know I say it often, but I hate it when I'm right.
Yeah.
When it comes to shit like that, I hate it when I'm right.
Oh yeah. It's stupid and asinine.
But now you have confirmation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I hope you feel better about that you are not being approached for that.
Yes.
All right, I'm hopping off. I gotta go shopping. Spend all heathens' money.
I've observed your judgment.
Womp womp. Womp womp.
It happens.
We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings.
Yeah.
Consider this
several
one carefully.
friends who I made after Jen introduced us unfriended and one blocked. But the one friend that blocked, her and I were getting along really, really well, but she will follow Jen's lead on everything.
Makes sense.
So
I'm not surprised.
no, neither am I. Followers will follow.
Yep. Distance warning.
I mean, I just posted just like a little itty bitty bit. No details. Just basically that it started. We met at work. It started at the insistence of his wife. It took him 8 months to figure out that before breaking up with me, to figure out what he felt. Those were the worst 8 months of the relationship, too. And that there was a rule in place saying I couldn't talk about it. My friends are coming out of the woodwork on me.
People are assholes.
Yep.
And I'm sorry you're going through this.
I still swear up and down that, number one, the reason she wanted to be friends with me wanted him to give me her number to talk to me, it's because I do 3D printed stuff. It was a resource she could use.
Probably.
My friend. Any chap.
And so her shoving him and me together was either to tie me closer.
No, perfectly honest.
Because I'm the type of person that if I'm, dating somebody, then, I share resources. Right.
Yep.
So, tie me closer. And, or the fact that, she was planning on bringing over the dude she was punking that was, Sean's barracks mate over at Fort Drum in 2009, before they got married. When she was screwing both of them. And living on the barracks. On base.
Oh, people.
Cause, yeah, those are my two inclinations for her shoving us together.
Would not be surprised.
Yeah. Hey, she hates me.
She fucking hates me. Da 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 da.
She fucking hates me. I don't fucking care.
Oh, that song's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Oh yeah. Nah, I mean, literally 2 months after she... not even 2 months after she threw us together, she started being colder towards me. After this guy, died.
Ew, I'm sorry.
He committed suicide.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I am sorry he did that. I'm sorry our freaking supposed support system for vets failed him.
It's one of the reasons why. It's one of the reasons why I support the Stop Soldier Suicide charity, because it usually comes up in March, where they have a 24 hours of gaming. You basically have 24 hours of gaming during a week, and if you stream on Twitch, they support it and basically give you like a browser source for you to basically, track your people who donate. So if that happens in March, that's what I'm going to be doing for March.
Nice. And it's going to be needed more than ever.
Especially since my work lets me use it as a community day. So basically, I get the day off of work and get 8 hours of gaming right there.
Oh, rock on.
Yep.
You're back. What have you found? That. I warned Kirmund about it. Please, keep saying.
Let's see. I'm good.
But yeah, she went on a trip and then went to visit family in July of that year, and because she goes to the national NFB conventions, and then she spends extra time with family and whatnot. And she was planning on going over to see him and rekindle things, because her plan was to, while Sean was in school, bring him over, move him in. While he was in school, and yeah, Sean hadn't consented.
Yeah, that tracks.
In fact, it bothered Sean to absolutely no end. So, yeah, there were multiple times where, while him and her were having stress, and he was talking to me. I'm like, dude, she was planning on cheating on you, and she already had cheated on you. Because she claims she's poly, when in fact she never got consent from you for anything.
Nope. Just.
And I was upfront about saying I'm made sure to tell both of them that, fuck it, I have every right to tell people that I was in a relationship with somebody. And I used past tense, because him and I are no longer in a relationship. And
Absolutely.
she goes off about how, you two aren't in a relationship. How are you two dating? Like, she can't even acknowledge the fact that him and I had a relationship.
I am so sorry.
Yeah. She's like, what constituted as dating? I'm confused. Because I'm like, yeah, I've been forced to lie to my friends about being in a relationship and not once been able to be acknowledged openly as his girlfriend. And she's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. This is all very strange. Like, acting like I'm crazy.
Because in her paradigm, acknowledging that you and Sean dated goes against.
I guess you're used to camping.
Goes against, her version of events.
Yeah.
The armored mask. We dream of steel and shard earth and flame. The memory binds. Flee from her. We fear. For us.
It's
for you.
messed up. But yeah, I also feel relief after coming clean. A couple of my friends are like, we need to know details. What do you mean by at her insistence? Thankfully, messaging me privately, because my friends apparently have picked up that, there are sometimes things I don't want to talk about publicly, so I will give a gloss over. I'll give the story a bit of a glaze. Like, this is the basics.
We pull our hands away.
And a couple of them, rightfully so, had, questions. Because apparently my wording, perked them a little bit.
I mean, I get it. Like, but...
Yeah.
A storm from the same spark.
Oh.
The same blade.
And like, thankfully they messaged privately.
Or extinguish it.
So the thing with for me at least, is that there's an old saying that my grandfather used to use, and anything that blooms at night burns in the bright. And so I try to be as upfront and open with what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, as much as I can. Because it doesn't... Nothing goes well with keeping secrets.
No.
Ever. So... Yeah.
And a couple of my friends were like, okay, that's not poly, that's abuse.
Yep.
With even knowing that little bit, that I was banned from saying anything or being able to be acknowledged.
I agree with their assessment.
Yeah.
Like, they're absolutely right.
This is shaking my self-esteem a lot.
In Rowantai, you don't abandon good supplies.
I
wonder what happened here.
I don't doubt it, and I don't blame you one bit.
I was still putting myself back together and not even fully a year out from leaving Fucko.
Well, my suggestion would be that you take this time to work on you, and honestly, don't let either of them near you. Like, do not let them disturb your calm, especially with, looks like duck, walks like a duck. My belief is that she who must not be named is the one who tried to pull the bullshit.
Yeah, Drago's got a rather nice nickname for her.
No. Nope.
Oh?
I am not going in there unless
Bitch
you
face.
swear not to run off without me.
He's faster than he looks, and a dead eye.
What was that?
Bitch face.
Ah.
With that crossbow, so I'd listen.
Makes?
Yeah, I shared some of the text messages with him. Because I'm like, I know this story sounds way out there and in some parts unbelievable. Here's proof.
I completely get it.
And it felt good to share with somebody. To be able to do that. And relieving. That's why I like the Discord server so much.
The thing is that, as one of my good friends would say, is why wouldn't we believe the abuses that you've been through?
Times in my life where I haven't been believed before.
Welcome back, Andre.
So whenever possible, I keep receipts.
Always keep receipts. Chaos has taught me that one.
I mean, I've been told I'm a hypochondriac because of all of my health issues. I'm sitting here going, want to see my medical paperwork?
Chaos to keep receipts. To keep as many receipts as possible, even if you think you don't need them.
Oh yeah, keep them all.
Oh yeah.
I have screenshots from like 3 years ago that I don't need anymore, but I might need them at some point.
Yeah, hence why I said Chaos is the one who's taught me keep everything. So I've still got receipts from the October drama from last year.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I had an interaction with somebody who was contracting for me, and I had to release them, and they basically abreacted all over the place, and I had to go back and pull my Discord conversations with them to basically say, look, this is why we're justifying what we're doing, etc. It wasn't fun.
I am so sorry.
Yeah. But my podcast only ran 45 minutes rather than 2 hours, which is fantastic. We had a script, and we just stuck to the script and ran with it.
Everyone okay?
Good.
Great.
Good job. Proud of you.
Yeah, I'm not fond of scripted podcasts. I like them to be a little more off-the-cuff discussion.
Informal.
Yeah, I'd rather it just be a conversation with questions rather than, here's a question that you previously answered, please read that back to me. But
it's
it
more
was
organic.
yeah, it's definitely more organic when it's done that way.
See, I thought about doing a podcast, but every single time I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I am way too fucking busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, because several
Go
people
ahead.
sit there and are like, you would do well on polyamory podcasts and give advice. I'm like, no one wants to hear my advice on shit.
I wouldn't mind doing something like an anime or TV, media kind of podcast with you, because you just have this wonderful background knowledge that I love bumping into.
I will be right back. The cat is swirling by the door, which means Mom needs to walk into the kitchen and look at the bowl and maybe replace a few of the missing 2 or 3 pieces of kibble, which is noisy.
Sounds good, Sky. The thing with my knowledge is that I'm a anime movie TV buff, because a bunch of the only thing that me and my friends would do in the military was either game, like on our days off, or watch anime. So like, and all the hell, like the fact that most people have seen Cowboy Bebop realize this, but each episode is named after a different type of music. And each episode is based off of a lyric that you can find somewhere about it. Like Real Folk Blues, for example, is there's specifically about the one where guy has lost his wife as he's holding her, she's dying in the street. There's a blues song, and it's just like this poignant moment. It's like, oh shit. And each part of the reason why Spike is doing this, each episode is his life flashing before his eyes. And because of how important music was to Spike, that's why each episode has that name of, a type of music, because he's literally recalling his life as his life is flashing before his eyes. And because of how Spike is an unreliable narrator in his own version of events. That's why we see the Native American person who calls him Swimming Bird. It's basically his brain going, you're dying. You are dying. As his life is just flashing. And it's him trying to reconcile that he is dying. Yeah. It's one of the fun pieces that I absolutely love about Cowboy Bebop, but at the same time that Jet, the reason why Jet is always jaded, more so towards Spike than anyone else on the crew, is because Spike knows Jet's past. So he sees him as more jaded than Jet actually is. That's why when we see Jet with Spike, it's just yelling arguments. Whereas when Jet's talking with Ed or Faye or someone else, he's calm, cool, collected. He's not brash. Whereas Faye is, she's Lady Luck. She is charming. She's, smart, intelligent. But when she's around Spike, she's just seductive and, doesn't think about anything. It's because any scene that you see Spike in, That is how Spike views them. That's why Spike is an unreliable narrator. So yeah.
See, this is why I would eat up alive doing an anime podcast with you, just to throw this shit back and forth. I forgot to tell you about the I hit the Anime Con a few weeks back.
Yep.
And there was a social, and this guy walks up to me, has to be about 22, 23, and he says, "Look, first of all, I have to ask you a question, and it's completely out of respect. I don't want you to take my question the wrong way, but obviously you're one of the older people here." And I was like, "Yes." He says, "Can you talk about some of the anime you watched when you were a kid?"
No, too soon.
You know, what are the earliest pieces of anime memory you have? And I was like, okay, so I understand how he approached the question, and I can appreciate that. But it was fun dredging up things like Astro Boy and Battle of the Planets.
Astro Boy, Battle of the Planets, Thundercats, Voltron.
Yeah, what was it? Some of the Star Blazers.
Yep.
Which was
Macross.
Yamato. Because I was heavily into the period of anime that was resurrect battleships as space cruisers.
I mean, that's basically the whole point in Macross and Robotech.
Yeah.
Like, which is the precursor to Gundam.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the original ship was a transformer. And then with Robotech, you moved into the ship being able to transform and the individual jets being able to transform, which then gave you the Gundam, the mechs.
Yep.
I mean, there's such an interesting evolution in anime from the different periods.
So one of the things that I like doing is take a look at, let's start at Macross. All right? Macross. Because of Macross, we got Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But also because of Macross, we have Robotech.
Right.
All right? Now, from these two delineations, Robotech eventually would spawn Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Mm-hmm.
From Transformers...
You could probably put Escaflowne in there, too.
Yes. From Transformers, we get Zoids. That's where we get Zoids from, is from Transformers. A combination of Transformers that we see, because this part's hilarious, is we get the newer renditions of Voltron. We get the newer renditions of the original Gundam 0087.
Mm-hmm.
And because of Gundam 0087 was more closely aligned to Robotech. But because of Transformers' success, that's why we got Gundam Wing, where Wing could turn into a fucking airplane and into a Gundam. The other part, which makes me giggle more so than anything, is Voltron is also due to its connection with Super Sentai.
Right.
From Power Rangers, because of the 5 different colors, blah, 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 blah. We get that one, which also has the basis from Super Sentai, is where we get Thundercats. It's why each one of the Thundercats have different weapons. Why each one of the Thundercats have different strengths. With Panthera being the smart one, Tigra being the stealth, Chitara being speed, Lion-O being the king. You know, all those things, and they're, you know, closely related to big cats, mind you, that are in the jungle, with their enemy being from the desert, being a mummy.
Yeah.
Which Thundercats, which makes this part makes me laugh, is that Mumra is the inspiration for how Mumra acts with Lord Zed.
Yeah. I'm curious, using this line of space battleship to mech,
Yep.
To this, the two areas that I'm curious about where they come from
Okay.
are sort of two branches of magical girl. One is the Sailor Moon classical magical girl, and the other one is Utena, the gender bending magical girl.
So
but where does that come from out of the other anime? Yeah. So the question is this a different chain because it's more
yes, it's a different
female?
It's a different chain, but it's also due to two parts. One, Sailor Moon comes from Super Sentai.
Okay.
That's where that connection is. Sailor Scouts, any team of 5 that represents 5 different things, at least, is connected to Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. That's where that delineation comes from. Because you have to remember, Super Sentai was live action first and foremost. Before it went, but it's been out since the 70s, late 70s.
Goes Yuger, wasn't it?
Say again?
Goes Yuger?
Yep. Then you've got Kamen Rider, which is another piece of that equation. So once you have those two parts, we start the transition from live action to anime. Because anime started getting big in the 80s in Japan. Because there were things that could not be told or conveyed through a live action medium that can be done through cartoons or through animated film. So with the gender bent part, we still have the Super Sentai squad, but we also have Ranma 1/2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With the also, because this is the other part of the equation, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was starting to get big in the early 80s in Japan.
Yeah, and they are Super Sentai-esque. They're more, I mean, Power Rangers is definitely a Super Sentai.
Power Rangers is Super Sentai straight rip for rip.
Yeah.
Only the last 2 seasons was not straight rip for rip because they actually made their own fucking costumes. Like,
yeah.
But
oh yeah.
But
Ginyu
beat for
Force
beat
is definitely a Dragon Ball Z. That group is definitely Super Sentai. Not.
Yes, but you also have to look at as far as Dragon Ball Z is in Dragon Ball. Like Dragon Ball comes from the Strongest Fighter type anime, where we get Fist of the North Star, where we get those type of animes. We have fighting, but it's also strongest person in the universe. And thank you for resubscribing, Andre. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I just found out my subscription had run out.
And then you got
I only bought like a 3-month.
Well, Yu Yu Hakusho is special in and of itself because then we're bringing over to the paranormal side. All right,
which you do end up with that with a lot of your Sailor Moon stuff too.
Well, yes and no. All right, Yu Yu Hakusho has the basis of, because of the, I can't even remember what it's fucking called. There was a big movement in Japan where basically street kids. That's why we have Yusuke Urameshi. That's why we have Ichigo Kurosaki. That's why we have Naruto. That's why, you know, all what's his fucking name?
Yeah.
Dumbass from Yamcha. These
Yu Yu
types.
Hakusho owes a lot to Dragon Ball.
Oh, absolutely. But Dragon Ball is considered, and Dragon Ball Z is considered the grandfather of the big three. All right, because Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama was basically the one that Type Kubo, Achiro Oda, and Mashimoto looked up to. And that delineation in and of itself, Bleach inspired the new big three, or the new current three, which is
Shonen.
Yes, with My Hero Academia, which is more while yes, My Hero Academia is similar to Naruto because of special powers, blah 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 blah. Each character having their own quirk. Zanpakuto. We have Black Clover, straight magic swordsman, doesn't have magic but use a sword. Okay, that's a straight rip for rip.
Everything.
That's a straight rip for rip. And then you have Demon Slayer, which is, hey, look, Soul Society, Demon Hunting Squad. Straight rip for rip. Yep. But a lot of the quirks match up with Devil Fruits from One Piece. A lot of the magic system matches up with ninjutsu from Naruto, from Black Clover. All of these things, you have the influences of these big three to the newest three, and it's all due to Dragon Ball having that influence. And when people sit there say that, oh, well, Dragon Ball Z is part of the big three. No, Dragon Ball Z is the grandfather of the big three. It is what caused the big three to come into place. Because Dragon Ball Z came out in fucking 1989.
Yeah, and magical girl genre was actually in the 1960s. I think the first one, what was it? Himitsu no Aka-chan.
Which would make sense with which would make sense because that would be a delineation off of Astro Boy.
And then you got Sally the Witch. And really big splashing out was definitely Sailor Moon, because that's where you get a lot of the tropes in too, especially with the heavy usage of repeated animations such as the transformation sequences and the attack sequences to, number one, fill in your time slots, and number two, save on animation costs.
Yeah.
And so, then people make fun of how, the
41 episodes of Charging Up?
Yeah. No, well, they don't do the 41 episodes of Charging Up. I mean, they basically did can the episodes, so to speak. So it went through the arc of here's the beginning, here's the middle, there's the end, and if it was especially with the first serialization of the animation, if they did have multi-part series, you actually had delineated chapters.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love and adore, because everyone, all my friends are going, but One Piece is ending. It's on its final saga. I'm like, do you realize how long a saga is? Do you realize he didn't say arc, he said saga. We're on the final saga. And this motherfucker used 8 arcs for the last saga. We got a bit.
Yeah.
Ethan, I gotta drop. It's great always talking to you on the stream. I hope we can do it more often.
Absolutely, and my work schedule is about to be hilarious, but we can talk about that tomorrow. I do plan on doing coffee break tomorrow morning, once I get logged in and everything. But yeah, so
all right, I will talk to you in coffee break.
Sounds good.
All right, later.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, have a good one, Andre. I have a soft spot for Sailor Moon because my older brother, his nickname's Jade. His actual name was Jason David.
Yep.
And my oldest brother was David Jason. So Dad was really great with naming conventions.
I mean, fair.
He had with the freaking hen flock. They were all different variations, just so he can walk around going pick and get their attention. All of their names had pick, peck, pekka, paka, all in their names, just so he can do that.
I mean, yeah, that tracks. Oh.
And but Aunt Nariko, before she died, had taught us a bit of basic Japanese. Now, absolutely, as I've gotten older, realized, hey, wait a minute. Aunt Nariko was also Da's partner, and Da fathered if a couple of Uncle Angus's kids, if not possibly all of them. We know Dad for a fact that Terran is actually Da's because he looks dead straight like him. We've always cracked the joke that Da and Uncle Angus switched Terran and me first chance they got when we were babies, because Terran looks like every member of my family, all my siblings and everything, including the girls, because even the girls are Amazon tall. Height-wise, my full-blooded Chinese grandmother's taller than me.
Womp womp. Womp womp.
So we all cracked the joke that, I must be Aunt Nariko's kid. And whatnot.
Fair.
But she taught us basic Japanese, and Jade, whose original nickname was JD, I wrote out the letters for the initials as a kid. JAYDE. So it stuck. He taught himself Japanese out of freaking textbooks and from the library. Going to the city library, the local small town library, and having them use the library network to check out books from city libraries and whatnot, because we have a networked library system here in Oregon.
Fair.
He taught himself, and then he got Da to take him to Seattle for the JLPTs. Because I was like, okay, if I'm going to be paying for these and I'm going to be driving you up there, you need to make sure you do a good job. Competence. I want a competent grade from you. He aced them all to the point that he got himself a freaking scholarship to be a foreign exchange student to Japan.
Jeez.
And even managed to win an extra stipend. For living expenses, not just merely, like the standard stuff.
Alright, y'all. I'm going to go get food from the pizza buffet. I will be back in a little bit.
Sounds
Alrighty.
good. I'm about to drop here in a second because I know lunch is here. So.
Yeah. So
Bye.
He sent me mangas.
Nice.
Especially the Sailor Moon mangas. And that was also where I came into contact with the DBZ mangas. And later on, as I'm playing, Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest, I've been streaming that, here and there. I brought up, some of the monsters were actually in the DBZ mangas before Dragon Warrior ended up happening. So Akira Toriyama actually worked on the Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest series.
Oh, absolutely. But if you also look at Chrono Trigger and everything, you see
his hands were in it too.
Yeah. Like the design for Gohan is like put Gohan and Chrono side by side.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And it's always fun to do that as well. And they're now called shaded cell games.
Yep.
And what's really cool is they actually used to be called cartoon shaded games, cartoon cell games, pretty much. And I think the first one, Jet Set Radio, I think it was.
Jet Set Radio?
I think it was Jet Set Radio.
That makes sense.
More accurately, the first really popular one, because whenever anyone talks about cell shaded, they talk about Jet Set Radio, and I'm pretty sure there was cell shading in other games, but it made it popular.
So, part of the reason why cell shading was such a big thing is due to CRT monitors, because they would basically, the refresh rate on CRT monitors, the way they refreshed was through lines and everything, and so that's why certain lines looked better, like with the pixels, than they do now on LCDs.
Oh yeah. And nowadays you don't have to worry quite so much about it, because LCD, LED monitors and the refresh rates are just wicked super fast. So nowadays, if they're using the shade cell techniques, it's also to make it so that way more people can play, especially if it's like a computer game, or make it more console capable, and it uses less resources, so that way you're not sitting there trying to draw out every bloody strand of hair in your game engine. You can just do a block and then shade it in, and then all you got to worry about animating is little bits here and there, or the whole thing with a swishy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I've been learning how to make video games for shits and giggles.
Nice.
Because I don't know. Okay, so I guess my big hobby is big hobbies are learning things and making things.
Yeah, that tracks.
And I make makers too.
See, that's kind of awesome.
One of my favorite ways of going to Comic-Cons, and I frequently get in for free. In fact, with Rose City, I only paid for getting in once for 1 day. That's because I forgot my freaking pass at home. I was writing up each of the days of Rose City for that particular year, and I had forgotten my pass, and I'm like, shit. I ended up having to pay for it. Other than that, I've gotten in for free. I've done programming, working with charity cosplay groups, and the like. And my favorite thing for programming for the past few years, since Rose City started back up after COVID, has been 3D printing and cosplay.
Nice.
And it's every single time I've brought something new to the board. I've been refining it, and now with Makaya, who also does 3D printing and whatnot, I've got them helping out with it. We're refining it, and now we're looking at possibly splitting the hair. Beginning 3D printing and more advanced techniques, things like that, just to make it more efficient. And there's a group that does those cosplay books, like how-tos and whatnot, like with the foam armor. There's one with a lady on it. Her name's Beverly Downen. I'm actually friends with her, and she's a Pac Northwest native.
Nice.
And her main job And she makes absolutely no bones about it. I'm allowed to say this about her. Her main job is she works in cardiology.
Fair.
Because her thing is she wants cosplay to be accessible to everybody. Me, I want cosplay to be accessible to everybody. And I have a buddy of mine, he's 65, makes his own cosplay, does a wicked great job. So whenever I'm running into anybody who's like, I don't know, I think I'm too old for cosplay, I'm like, him. I bring him up. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I do a professional job, that I require, college degree for. And I'm like, Bev, or I'm pretty well known in the cosplay community in my area, and I haven't made my own cosplays for myself in years beyond my horns.
Valid. That makes sense.
And I also go and visit kids in the hospital in the cancer wards. And cool moment I had. It was actually one of the few good moments I had at Rose City, because again, Jen screwed it up for both Sean and me. Completely messed it up.
I'm sorry.
I ran into some. Yeah, it's a whole batch of freaking drama on that. But the cool moment, one of the cool moments was I ran into this kid and I didn't recognize him because face blindness and whatnot, and the kid had grown up. And he's like, I know you. You look the same. Okay. He had this crazy looking purple felt dragon tail with orange and silver god awful brocade silk spikes on it. And he's like, check this out. You gave me this right before I had my surgery to remove my tumor. And I was so scared.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, oh my gosh. He's working on a furry costume based around those colors.
Nice.
Not purple and yellow, purple and orange. And this is really a god-awful orange.
I mean, orange is rough.
It is. And the reason why I started doing the horns and the dragon tail is I work with a bunch of different charity cosplay groups, and one of them being a bunch of princesses. One of them cracked a joke because nickname Dragon, right?
Yep.
Always chasing after them with the camera because I tend to be the photog. I don't really like being in front of the camera. I've started taking more pictures of myself to kind of help with the self-esteem thing and all of that. And one of them's like, one of these days we should just get you a dragon costume. Cause you're always chasing after us with the camera. I mean, dragons chase princesses, don't they?
Tracks.
So, I used what scraps I had and made a dragon tail. And then later the horns happened because I got told I couldn't come up with a cosplay centered around a phrase. And I'm like, bet. It's like totes the goat. Totes me goat. Made a pair of horns that matched my hair, color-wise, and then I sat there and I used heat press vinyl to put the word totes on a t-shirt.
All right.
And went running around like that.
Nice.
So, yeah, those are the most. That's literally the most known cosplay I'm known for. Is literally the horns.
Fair. All right, it's time for me to go get food. I need to go eat, so I'm gonna hop off here.
I should eat too. I haven't eaten.
You should do that.
I haven't been eating because stress.
Makes sense. All right.
Alrighty.
If you need
Thanks
anything,
for
let me know.
putting up with me.
Of course.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I might bounce some ideas off of you.
Say again?
I might bounce some ideas off of you because
Okay.
making stuff. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good
You're
one.
welcome. All right. You too. All right. Bye.